Right now, more than 40 states across the U.S. are offering early voting. So, why are you voting? Hey, it's Elliot. Many of your friends and neighbors now rushing in unprecedented numbers to voter drop boxes and early voting centers to make sure their voice is heard in this election. However, attempts to suppress your vote and keep you from showing up continue, so be aware, plan your vote, and take action. A sentiment echoed by journalist Deborah Kobylt. An award-winning reporter and anchor, Kobylt is well known for her work with news outlets such as CNN, Fox 11, KCAL News in Los Angeles. Her latest platform is called Deborah Kobylt Live, a popular video-audio podcast streamed each week on Facebook Live.
But you can't. But both are not compatible,
and both make him look ridiculous. Do you not agree? It's not really a man who wants to go in this to try and do better. It's a man either doing business with the Russians, supposedly, or it's a man who really didn't want to win, but he just wanted to launch Trump TV. Either way, I don't really see a man standing front and center wanting to make things better for the people of the United States, except to build a big tall wall in Mexico.
That's what makes me question whether the whole...
Deborah Kobylt joins us now from her Western tier in somewhere in the Western tier. Good afternoon, Deborah. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. And thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's just a joy to see that. That's you and your husband, famed co-host John Kobylt from the John and Ken Show on KFI AM. More stimulating talk. That's not easy. He's a tough cookie.
He's a tough guy, but when he's on my show, it's my show. So, but it's interesting because that clip was from when he was just elected. That was a while back. So, wow, how far we've come in this many years, right?
Yeah.
What we thought of him then and what we think of him now.
Is that just an extension of what you guys may wind up doing at home? Because you're opinionated, he's opinionated. I can't imagine what you two in front of the TV must be like.
John is quieter at home. I continue to do this. And very often he says, Deborah, please, I need to turn it off. Because, he's on live every day, 4 hours. He's got a very popular radio show. That's Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
We went to a function with him not too long ago. So, yeah, for him, he needs to just shut it down. And for me, when he comes home, I just need to keep talking about it. So, and we don't always agree, but we agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's the way it happens in our house, too. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Way to keep peace. So, enough about John. All right, enough about him already. How about you? Let's talk about your show. Deborah Kobylt Live, been on for a couple of years now with plenty of guests. And I just saw recently Montagna, the actor.
Joe Montagna.
Montagna,
I actually do two podcasts. I do mine, Deborah Kobylt Live, and then I do one for Little Italy of Los Angeles, because we just launched a Little Italy district in LA. So I actually do two of them. So we have well-known Italian Americans who come on that podcast, and Joe was a delight, and he talked about his background and about all the many, many films and TV shows that he's done. But on my podcast, right, I will talk to men, women, young or old. But the one thing in common is they have to be doing something for the better good. Like I just had on Lily Bosse. She's the councilwoman for Beverly Hills. She's a two-time mayor, very popular council person. But she really is terrific at getting together community, getting everybody involved in politics. She's amazing. Like she has something called Walk with the Mayor. And at first, it would be 20 people showing up. And then once a week, she had 400 people walking into the town saying, but Mayor, what about? And I think, what a great way to be a politician. It's about us after all. And somewhere along the way, that's gotten forgotten about completely.
Sure. And for all this work, for all your skill, and for all your experience, you've been awarded quite a few statues recently, I understand. Tell me about that.
I was really proud of that because, I have 3 children. So I took some time off from commercial television, right? And you know how that goes.
Sure.
So I missed it. I missed being involved in the community. I missed telling people stories. And I did have an opportunity to go back and to actually work in commercial TV. And I thought, yeah, but I really want to do that and stand outside doing a live shot about something I may or may not necessarily have covered if it were my station. So I thought, let me try and launch something on my own. So there's never a loss of stories, right? Whether it's local, statewide, nationally, or even internationally, because I've had people on from other countries.
Sure.
And I thought, let me try it myself. And it's been successful. And I was very thrilled. I was up for Journalist of the Year in 3 different categories, which is really a big deal among my peers
It's a
here
huge
in
deal.
Los Angeles.
Huge deal.
Yeah, and I got second place for that. And, your peers are voting on that. It's kind of like the People's Choice Awards of journalism. So, I didn't have a big platform behind me. I didn't have CNN or Fox. It was just little old me. So, and there's a couple actually that I think I may be nominated for, but I didn't get into this for the awards. I got into it to tell stories just like you, Elliot.
Sure, as we all do. And
Yeah.
complete disclosure, you and I worked together some years ago at CNN, but we've always stayed in touch, and so we're kind of heading in the
Always.
same direction here. I'm so glad to see us
Yeah, I
both in
think
the
it's
same.
great.
I'm so glad to see us both
I
in
think
the same spot, in the same arena, as it were.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what we came here to talk about this afternoon. Your mind thought in terms of voting, and we've talked about this before, so it's no surprise to me, but I think to at least the viewer to know that you count yourself among some of the people who are just not really crazy about either of the candidates right now. However, that said, you're still planning to vote. Tell me about that.
Well, the main reason why I plan to vote is because there were many, many women who came before me 100 years ago, marching through the streets, who didn't have that right to vote. And I never forget about that. I'm a history person. I love to study history and to talk about and learn more about the people who came before me.
Sure.
And they worked very hard for the opportunity for me to get out there and vote. And that's why I will make sure that I vote. I vote on my local propositions. I will vote on senators and Congress people. And of course, this is a very important presidential election. I mean, we've all been watching and bearing witness to what's been happening these past 4 years. There are many people who are Trump supporters, and there are many who are not. It's also an historical election. We have a vice president, female vice president, and that's very interesting, depending upon what could happen in 4 or
Sure.
8 years, right? So there's a lot to vote for. There's a lot. There's healthcare. It's very important to me.
But you
There's so
struggle
much.
you struggle with this now. I mean, and as a lot of people do, because once on these voting cycles, when the picture isn't as clear as we would like it to be for a variety of reasons, it makes it difficult to say, oh, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to pull that lever, but I need to pull that lever. Correct?
Yeah, sometimes I think about this very hard, and I think if I'm not thrilled with both candidates, do I leave it empty? Do I write in someone else? I won't lie to you. I'm going to go out on a limb. Mayor Pete was my person, and well, he's not up there, so I have a choice of who to vote for, right?
Sure.
Should I write him in? Should I vote for someone else? That's for me to decide, right? But we
Absolutely.
do have choices. We do have choices, and I would say to people, if you're not thrilled about the choices that are out there, I don't like to say, oh, just pick one that you can deal with more. I say do a little homework. Learn a little more about what they stand for and their platforms. Read a little bit. There's lots of places you can go and get, bite-sized information about what they're saying they're going to do. Are you pleased with the way things have been handled these past 4 years? And if so, what are you pleased about? If not, what do you want to have happen? So there's a lot that I think people need to research just a little. Try to get off a lot of the news that's on TV. I can't believe I'm saying that because we're both TV journalists.
Right.
But it's gotten a little
That's
bit
right.
it's gotten a
Crazy.
little tough to watch,
It's
right?
gotten nuts.
But I cross-reference everything, right? If I watch one, I'll go and watch the other.
Sure.
I watch local, I watch network. So, but I'm trained to do that.
What do you we hear a lot about people going out to plan their vote this year. There's a lot going on. This isn't a typical year, and people aren't going to be able to do this in a typical fashion. If you haven't voted already, and you may have, how do you plan to vote? How did you make your plan, or did you make it already?
Well, all of us, all 5 of us, are mailing our ballots in. And,
5 and 2, you and John and 3 children,
I have
3 boys.
3 children, and the youngest is finally old enough to vote. Will be his first time, and the others too, as well, now that I think about it. And I had to mail them their ballots. I made sure it was very secure so nobody would open it up. And my youngest one is coming home in about a week or 2, so I wanted to wait so we could have a discussion and talk about it together. Which I feel like it's my obligation to do that. Now, he and I actually differ politically. So, he has the opportunity to vote for whomever he thinks is the best candidate, right?
Sure.
But we wanted to make it a family thing. I'm not one to really stand in a 4-hour line to vote. It's not my thing. So I will mail it in, and I feel very secure doing that. There's all kinds of secure ballot boxes. So
Sure, absolutely. Well, Deborah Zara Kobylt, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and joining me and sharing your thoughts. It's it's not easy for any of us in this day and age. We hope that it'll all work out in the end, but it's a lot that you've taken your time to share your thoughts and your comments this afternoon. So, best of luck going forward. Best of luck with the show. All the best to you, John, and the 3 boys. And thank you so very much.
thanks, Elliot. And please, everyone, go vote. It is important.
There you go. Absolutely. Go vote. Thank you. Remember, November 3rd is not your first chance to vote. It is your last chance to vote. That's why we're leaving some links in the comments below to help you vote conveniently and safely. Remember to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, then go get in line and vote in person. Vote by mail if you have to. Vote early if you can. But remember, go vote.